Okay, so just to get a real quick kind of impression of who you're dealing with. So forget the profile pic. That's an ugly profile pic. I need to change that. But some of these books. This is my latest one called The Silent Fighter, which is a kind of a micro narrative. So what's a micro narrative? What does that even mean? Jeff, do you mind sharing your story?
When we took the break, we were talking earlier about excess content in your material.
This is real world application. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead. Real world.
Last year we had a promotional process to get promoted one more time at work before I retire, and I got on. They started this new supplemental question process. Got on, answered my supplemental questions. Got on, answered the question, gave my examples, got off. Well, me and my two peers that I work with, real close with, none of us got on the list, and we all work in the same location, so we've got conspiracy theories going on. But we all three got told the same thing was, you didn't make it because you didn't write enough. Here, look at this guy's paper. Look at all the stuff that he wrote. You only wrote one paragraph.
So it almost sounds as if, thank you so much for sharing that, Jeff, real world application. It almost sounds as if quality is not as important as quantity. What I would assert and how you're going to be graded and how the criteria is in this class, can you get away with writing a paragraph? Absolutely. Okay? But it better be one damn good paragraph, right? The only question I'm going to be asking you, and this deals with the real world, and why communications is so important in the real world. Don't listen to Professor Nez. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Listen to what the people making this. The people who are successful. People who build businesses, build platforms, have their own career. When they go to sleep at night, they don't wake up worrying if the boss is going to hound them that day. Does that make sense? What did you say, Michael? Upward mobility, security. As a citizenry, if you're secure, if you feel stable in what you're doing, if you feel that you're not under the knife, under jeopardy, under scrutiny every single day, your stress level goes down. You know what the number one cause of all diseases are? Close. Actually, you jumped one step ahead of me. Very good, Michael. The number one cause of all diseases is inflammation. Cancer loves inflammation. Heart disease loves inflammation. Neurocognitive disorder loves inflammation. Rheumatoid arthritis loves inflammation. The number one cause of inflammation? Stress. You are stressed out. You have no idea what's going on with your JOB. You have no security. You have no idea where tomorrow, what may bring. You've got a family to take care of. Forget about a family. You've got you to take care of. What about you? You're important. I tell my wife all the time, I like you more than our kids. I'm sorry, I'll be honest about it. I love my kids. Love my kids to death. I want to be with you, Mama. I want to just be with you. I'm sorry. If I had a choice, it'd be me and you, a bottle of wine, take you out to dinner, do something nice, spend some time with the ones I want to spend time with. Don't get me wrong, right? Forget about just taking care of your family. What about you, too? That's security. That's stress is so underappreciated and underestimated. People think they can live forever on stress. They just can't. I'm sorry. Right? So, these skills, people who are successful, people who... And look at the top three, too. Number 2, teamwork. In today's work environment, many jobs involve working in one or more groups. Employers want someone who can bring out the best in others. That's why we do collaborative workshops. That's why it's not group work, don't get it twisted. It's not group work. We work together. We collaborate. Okay? We look at each other's writing, and we try to see what's working, what's effective, what's not working, what's not effective. Not personal, not subjective. We remain objective. We look objectively. We try to help each other collaboratively, effectively. Analytical problems, you can almost say the top 3 are tied for first. Right? So, in Professor Nez's class, it's always quality over quantity. Okay? Now, my Facebook page, what Matthew is helping me out with right now as we speak. Is it working, Matthew?
says it's live and it has viewers.
Did anybody like my author page yet? In here? Okay, this is my author page. This is, if you're going to get somebody who's teaching you digital humanities, this is all my contact info. This is how you can find me on Twitter. This is how you can find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your virtual business card. That's a different social networking site. It's not just, hey, look, I got a puppy today. No. LinkedIn is very, very professional. Networking is absolutely huge. Another reason why we collaborate, you never know who you could be sitting next to. What if you're sitting next to the next Mark Zuckerberg, the next Steve Jobs, the next Eleanor Roosevelt, the next President of the United States? Is it likely? No. Possible? Yes. It's possible. No matter how technologically advanced we get, this is still a people planet. This is still a people planet. So don't get it twisted and don't judge people who are on their phones. Don't judge people. Maybe that's their way of escaping. Maybe that's their little endorphin rush or their little buzz that they get after a hard day at their shit job, right? And that's just their chance to unwind. Some people watch Lost. Some people watch House of Cards. Some people surf the internet. Actually, a lot of people surf the internet. So, going back to the digital landscape, going back to digital culture, going back to what's happening right now, restrictions produce higher quality content. Meaning, in this day and age, attention spans shrinking. Everybody and their mother has ADHD now, right? Information, so fast. I mean, everywhere you go, somebody's trying to demand your attention. Shannon, I go to a gas station, somebody's yelling in my ear to buy something. I can't take my kids to a restaurant, Tam. Every restaurant I go to, every family restaurant, there's TVs everywhere. I can't escape ESPN. I can't escape sports. I can't escape anything. Right? So what we're doing right now, what Matthew's helping me out with right now, is a way to put out quality content. This is my author page. Not my personal page, my author page. If you look at the About section, you can find out there's a kind of a cartoon image of me right there. My banner is a quote from one of my books. Okay, you can see my tag right there, @PeterNez author. Okay, quality. Don't judge the 2%. Don't let the 2%, the least common denominator, usurp and define what you could really truly bring value to. That's like saying everybody who drives a car bad, we should ban cars, and you're judging people who drive cars. There's a lot of bad drivers out there. There's a lot of people who use social media and digital culture in a terrible, negative, nefarious way. But that doesn't mean you have to. And again, the market doesn't give a rat's ass. This is where the markets are going. Television is becoming radio now. These sites, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I think Snapchat, I'm going all in on Snapchat. I think Snapchat, and I wrote an article about this, I think Snapchat is one of the most amazing things about technology, because what Snapchat does is, if you know anything about Snapchat, all content erases after how long? 10 seconds for each snap. But how long, Enrique? 24 hours. Unless somebody takes a screenshot of it. But I mean, I don't see too many people doing that. I mean, not as much as they used to. Yeah, go ahead. What is the purpose of Snapchat? This is perfect. This is a beautiful thing. I love that question. So Snapchat. So Snapchat is, let me get out of my About section because I want to get to the article that I wrote. So Snapchat, is this it right here?
Should be.
2 viewers, fantastic. So Snapchat is...
I'm on Facebook right now, come on, go down.
So Snapchat is a platform that, if my page will load up here, Snapchat is a platform that takes 10-second video that you can transmit to somebody in the form of stories. So literally you can take these 10-second snaps that you can literally transform into little mini stories that evaporate and go away after 24 hours. This is my article written by me. So this is my author name up here. This is my handle, my Snapchat handle. And this is the article I wrote on the platform Medium, which is a platform for writers. Look at the tagline. The social media landscape is forever changed And its little kid on the block is about to grow up and crush all the game in town. With over 7 billion views per day, it's hardly anyone's second guess as to who the up-and-coming superstar is in the social media world. If you're not on Snapchat yet, you will be. Now, if I follow, here's a writing professor who's been doing writing at Chapman University, Calgary, Fullerton, Saddleback, IBC, UCI, Concordia, everywhere under the sun. Why do I start with literally 2 sentences and then break off into a new paragraph? Is that what we were taught in school? No. But what about those 2 sentences? What do they do? What kind of purpose do they achieve? Is it about quantity, Jeff, or is it about quality? What do those 2 sentences achieve? What do they do for the audience, Sean?
Draws you in.
Draws you in. Why? That's a huge number, right, Deanna? 7 billion views. That's a huge, huge number. That's more people, as many people as there are on Earth, practically. On the planet. If you're not on Snapchat yet, you will be. The same people who scoffed at Facebook 7 years ago, we were all there. Oh, Facebook, who needs that crap? Facebook's for little kids who want to, do goofy things. Snapchat's just a stupid platform. It literally, Deanna, it started off as this misconception that it was an ability for teenagers, which is the highest demographic for Snapchat. This is why I think people our age can jump on this and make some real money, make some real change, make some real powerful content that actually change people's lives. If Jeff has a show, a little small Snapchat show, on what he's learned in his, how many years on the law enforcement, Jeff?
Almost 30.
Almost 30 years. So he is almost retired. He put in his 30. He's almost retired with his probably a beautiful pension, because my mother-in-law works for Anaheim PD. My mother-in-law works for Anaheim PD. How you doing, Leanne? Good to see you, Mom. So I have to do a shout out to her. I'll get in trouble. Just kidding. Love ya. No. God, I'm going to get in trouble now. So what if instead of, hey, Billy, look at this new bra I bought, which actually it was called sexting, because what happens after 24 hours? This is before screenshots were invented. It evaporates. So Snapchat actually emulated real-world psychology. What's real-world psychology? When you're hanging out with your friends and you go home, that moment's gone. When you're with your family at Disney World, even if you record it, that moment's gone when you come back home. So Snapchat emulated real-world psychology. So the moments disappear, just like in life. The moments disappear. So the original purpose was just to pass video, no timeline, nothing's recorded. It's a different social network, just a video-to-video interface with text and creativity and images, okay, but mostly video that you can basically, instead of texting, instead of writing an email, you just do a video. Hey, Deanna, nice to see you. Hey, look, I got this Starbucks latte. Isn't it great? I'm so yummy. Look at the little, they put my name on it. It's right. Whatever, right? And then you send that snap. But it doesn't have to be just so, it can be frivolous, but it doesn't have to be. That's my point. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. As a matter of fact, so one of my latest stories, so this is an article that I'm going to have as probably reading class. But one of my, look at this, I put a Happy Father's Day. This is from Snap. This is a Snap story. This is Wisdom on Wheels. Let me see if I can get the volume here. This is on Snapchat. So video, I know it seems kind of goofy, but video with, hold on a second. So video.
Also, just a little side snap. I want to find out from you guys, what is
look at Jeff. Jeff's like, I can't believe this guy does this.
Form of media right now. What grabs your attention? You know me, I like to find out what's grabbing attention. As a good author, a good communicator, you need that. Talk to me. You hear a lot about, Musical.ly, you hear a lot about Vine, you hear a lot about WhatsApp app. Talk to me. What's moving you out there? What's inspiring you? How are they grabbing your attention?
Fun images, fun little images.
Working so well. What is engaging you out there?
I think I'm going to see if I have
Some of you, I suspect, this might be the first time you're really kind of inquiring that. Have you ever investigated? And not to sound like a broken record, but through osmosis, through reverse engineering, you will find out ways in which you can interesting how they started off their
Eyes are on the road the whole time.
their proposal. Maybe I could do that.
All right, no.
Emotional intelligence, people skills, being able to communicate meaning, interpret actions and activities, bar none, the best skill.
So just that's a little snap. So this in my article, this is what I put. In my article, I literally, did you see it? In my article, I literally put this. Sorry, 1 second, Jeff. In my article, I literally put that everybody, as Andy Warhol said, everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame. It doesn't have to be BS. It doesn't have to be frivolous. Yes, you can do a comedy thing. Yes, you can be silly. Yes, you can be stupid. But you can actually do something of value, all from your phone. Do you know that there's people who actually get paid by Coca-Cola? People who get paid by Mattel? People who get paid by Target because they have so many Snap followers? Imagine getting paid to do video content. Like good money. I mean, maybe not what you want to do for the rest of your life, but good money, like a side little thing. You know what I mean? I mean, if I'm Jeff, and I've got all this, and I keep going back to Jeff because I just as an example. And Jeff, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot. I apologize if it feels that way. Just as Jeff has a reservoir of experience that he could be sharing with the world on a platform that grabs people's attention. You have to be a day trader of attention to be an effective author, an effective communicator. When you're giving an interview, Michael, you say you go to Brandman University. You say you have all this experience in tech. I need to look you in the eye and make sure that you're not a narcissist. Make sure that you're a team player. Because I have a team in place, and if I hire you and invest a lot of money into you, and you are too egotistical, and you don't get along with my team, that's a lot of money that goes down the drain. Does that make sense, Michael? Not that you would be that way. That's an example.
What are your thoughts on healthy narcissism? Like,
Oh, gosh. I believe in believing in yourself. I believe that this dude that lives inside your head is the master politician. He's the master persuader. He's the master salesman. I'm talking about the eternal doubter. He can convince you every time you look in the mirror. This is how good he is. He can convince you every time you look in the mirror that that's the ugliest reflection that ever existed. That's how good he is. So, what I believe, Michael, healthy narcissism, whatever you want to call it, I believe in being aware and being alert and paying attention and understanding that this guy, you don't have to take him seriously. For once in a while, just once try this. Instead of doubting yourself, be your number one fan. See what happens. I would love your feedback. Professor Nez, I tried this. It's a bunch of crap. I would love your feedback. Instead of doubting yourself, instead of doubting your abilities and being so insecure and letting this guy win, for once, be your number one fan and tell me if there was any difference. Professor Nez, you know what? I tried it for a week. I tried it for a couple of weeks. Is my hair okay, Matt? Okay, good. I tried it for a couple of weeks and it didn't. I didn't notice any change. Okay, give me honest feedback. Give me an honest shake. Try being your number one fan for once. See what happens. Maybe that's what healthy narcissism means to me. Believing in yourself, what Emerson calls self-reliance. Does that make sense?
I agree with you. I mean, I think we need some narcissism. We need to hold ourselves to standards. If we don't hold ourselves to our own standards, then we'll fall, or just continue to slip or degrade,
But here's the thing. Here's the difference, Michael, is I think that failing, you ask Warren Buffett, you ask Bill Gates, you ask anybody who's ever been successful, Muhammad Ali, who just passed away, God rest his soul, Prince, you ask any of these people, they failed 1,000,000 times over before they succeeded. You know that Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken? Colonel Sanders?
Director, right?
I don't know. Is that a joke? Michael, I'm the only one who's allowed to be funny in here, okay, Michael?
I know of him. The commercials.
Everybody thought his idea was crap. Chicken in a bucket, nobody will go for it. He went all over the United States to pitch his idea for chicken in a bucket in the early 50s and 60s. Nobody bought it. And then finally, after failing, and I'm telling you, like it was above 1,000 times he failed. Finally, by like the 1,018th person, let's give it a shot. The rest is history. So, Failure is actually not a bad... If you're afraid of failure, you're never going to try anything. Please heed this, you guys. If you're afraid of losing, if you're afraid of failure, you won't risk anything, and you have to. If you want to do anything that has value in this world, there's a lot of people in this room that probably disagree with my way of conducting this class. But I have to do me. You do you. Does that make sense? Don't do Professor Nez. Don't do Albert Einstein. Don't do whoever you look up to. You go all in on Lulu. You go all in on Lulu. Okay? And you will never lose. You will never lose. You're going to get the haters. You're going to get the detractors. You're going to get people who think you're this and that and call you all sorts of things, right? And you're going to fall. But falling's okay. Getting back up is a beautiful thing. Very beautiful. Getting back up. Every successful person. Richard Pryor, one of the greatest comedians of all time, I'll never forget this. His first 15, 16 shows, the audience didn't laugh. Can you imagine? One of the funniest people, if not, he's like the LeBron James of comedy. Nobody laughed. Have you ever been in a room where a stand-up comedian didn't get a laugh? It's one of the most uncomfortable, stressful environments you will literally ever be a part of. Ever. It's so stressful. You almost want to laugh on purpose. It's so bad. You're a failure. So this guy comes in. This guy loves it when you fail. Who am I talking about? The eternal doubter. You're a failure. See? You're not funny. You thought you were funny? Why don't you go do something safe? Be an accountant. Get your degree. And it's okay if you're an accountant. If that's what you want to do, fantastic. I'm not judging accountants. But what I'm saying is that, try something that, if that doesn't move you, don't just do it because it's safe. Does that make sense? Don't just do it because that's the path of least resistance. Because then you're going to blink and turn 90, and you're going to look back, and it's too late. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's too late. Okay, Matthew. Thank you.